This vast landscape is just part of what many call Malhuapu, the land of the indigenous Mapuche, a rich, fertile region stretching south of the Biobío River for 400 kilometers. Today, it's part of Chile. But as these Mapuche flags indicate, some of the land is being reclaimed, increasingly by force. In the last 4 months, there have been nearly daily arson attacks on trains, trucks, and forestry companies that now own the lion's share of the land, but also against farms and homes owned by ordinary Chileans. And people on both sides of the conflict are being killed. Outside of a jail in Angol, Mapuche community leaders announced they'll fight by any means necessary for the release of those they call political prisoners of Chile, accused of carrying out attacks.
We are being persecuted and imprisoned for demanding our land. For many years we were repressed, but now we've learned to organize and defend ourselves.
The Mapuche WERKEN, or spokesman, says new deployments of Chilean Special Forces units to the region are escalating the confrontation.
It's getting dark here, and we're starting to see now military trucks passing by. This is what the local media calls the Gaza Strip. And we're also seeing here trees that have been chopped down to try to block the road so that cars can't pass. And it will get worse as the night goes on, as it becomes darker, because it's part of an ongoing campaign of sabotage on the part of those who say that they have to expel the people who have usurped their land.
For hundreds of years, neither the Spaniards nor the subsequent Chilean state was able to conquer the combative Mapuche. But by 1880, Chile's army succeeded in driving them off most of their land, destroying their rural economy, and plunging them into deep poverty that persists to this day. Now many communities are trying to take back what they lost, like this property owned by Chile's largest forestry company. But they say it's also about countering 140 years of humiliation. Today they've gathered for a game of palín, an ancestral sport played between two communities in order to reinforce their ethnic and cultural bonds. 32-year-old SUSANA SOTO says that like many Mapuches, her grandparents took up Spanish names to try to offset deep racism and discrimination by Chileans.
Some of us may not have Mapuche names anymore, but we still have Mapuche blood, and we aren't ashamed of it. We are from a new generation that has the strength to rise up again.
More than 12% of Chileans identify as Mapuche, yet Chile's constitution does not recognize their existence as indigenous people. Supermarket owner Delfín Sáez says he too belongs here. He takes us to see the remains of his family's country home, just hours after it was burnt to the ground by unidentified armed men.
I feel nostalgia, anger, knowing they burned down something that belonged to us nearly 100 years. We can't rebuild our memories, but I'm going to rebuild the house right here, because no one can throw us off our land.
Those resorting to violence are a minority. But Miguel MELAQUEO says they're part of a larger ancestral conflict that the Chilean state is refusing to address, except with force.
That's a military plane with state-of-the-art technology to intercept telephone and radio signals. It overflies day and night. When you see things like this, who can deny that this territory is being militarized? Impossible.
What's also become obvious is that there's no easy solution to a complex dispute to which most Chileans were oblivious, until now that it's become impossible to ignore. Lucia, Newman, Jazeera, Chile.